Okay. And welcome into NBC World Series Live. We are at Hobart, Detterfield, and Hutchinson, Kansas, live at the 87th NBC World Series, powered by Evergy. He's Andrew Burgos. I'm Matthew Will. Thank you very much for joining us here in between games 1 and 2 of today's action. And we had plenty of action in game 1, where the Boulder Collegians and Liberal BJs faced off in the first elimination game of the 2021 series. Is it what you expected?
Yeah, I think Liberal did handle the job well. They did exactly what they needed to do. Nice grand slam, but also you thought Boulder was going to get in that game. They did for a little bit, but then Liberal showed their talent and pulled away at the end.
This is a Liberal team that a lot of people expected to maybe not make easy work of Derby, but really expected them to win that first game.
Yep.
Derby walks the game off in the feature game on Wednesday night, and it really set Liberal up to have a tough going for the rest of the series.
Right.
With one loss under their belt, every game is win or go home now, sitting in that loser's bracket. And we'll take a look in just a little bit about what lies next for Liberal. It's not going to be easy, but this is a Liberal team that still has a lot of promise and certainly is not done in this series yet.
Now, they got a long ways to go, but Liberal is a really good team. They'll fight their way and hopefully make it to Wichita.
This was a game that in the first 5 to 6 innings was pretty back and forth. One team would score 1 or 2, the other team would answer. One of the biggest plays of the game was a stealing of home in the 5th inning by the Boulder Collegians. It looked like for sure he was going to be out at home. He swam around the tag and tied the game at 2. And for a while it looked like that was going to be the Boulder Collegians' answer to the surge that was the Liberal BJs. But then it was Wyatt Grant, our Pinnacle Realty player of the game, who hit a grand slam to really put this one out of reach and put Liberal moving on to the next round.
You saw that Boulder home steal. Everyone did. We thought that's when the momentum shifts with Grant. Did that grand slam and right away went right back to the BJs.
So if you'd like to get your bracket out with us, we'll take a look now. As Liberal won game 11, they'll move on to game 19, which will take place sometime on Sunday. We will not know those game times until after the 3 p.m. game tomorrow afternoon. That's when we'll know all of the teams playing Sunday, and we'll be able to make the decision on who plays when. But they are awaiting the loser of the Hayes-Hutch game tomorrow night.
Wow.
You don't want either of those squads.
No, you do not. They're top-notch teams. It'll be interesting to see that. Who
Plus,
will lose that game.
Hayes and Liberal have a great rivalry. They have played in the Jayhawk League for many, many years. Hayes made the move over to the Rocky Mountain Conference this year. I'm almost hoping for a Hayes versus Liberal game because that's going to be one of the most high-intensity games we're going to have, and it'll be a great way to potentially close out our time here in Hutchinson.
It'd be awesome. That would be a super fun game to watch for sure.
So now our pages turn to our next game of the day, which takes place here in 15 minutes or so between the Great Bend Batcats and the 316 Elite 19U team. This is a 316 Elite team that I don't feel like we got to really see what they were made of. They had to play a very talented Seattle Studs team, and because of that, got run ruled and didn't really get to show much off.
If I'm correct, I'm pretty sure the Great Bend Batcats lost to the 316 Elite 2 years ago in Wichita to be eliminated in the NBC World Series. Roger and I have talked about that before, so he definitely does not want that to happen again. So Roger remembers that, and he's going to try to make sure it doesn't happen today.
Roger Ward is one of the most seasoned managers at this tournament. He knows what he's doing. He knows what it takes to win games in big moments like this. And this is a great opportunity for Great Bend to repeat the success they had 2 years ago in the 2019 series and continue their push through the brackets. I think we'd be wrong if we didn't talk a little bit about how Great Bend got to this point. They lost to a Lone Star team that like I've said in almost every single one of these shows, I think that Lone Star team is a second or third place finisher in this tournament. I don't think we really got to see what Great Bend was made of.
Yeah, I've seen Great Bend play all summer long. They're a very nitty-gritty team. They grind. They have good pitching. They have good stuff. And, Lone Star was just such a better team. They outplayed them that day.
And that seems to be what we've had to talk about a lot is one team has really not seemed to be all in so far in these series. I mean, look at yesterday alone. 3 games were run rules, and one of them was a walk-off. The games that we've had that are close have been very entertaining and have gone down to the wire. But a lot of these games are showing that some of the teams in this country, when it comes to summer collegiate baseball, are just a next level above some of the rest of the competition.
I agree 100%.
So a couple of the notes that we received from our scorekeepers, now that round 1 is officially complete as of last night, today is the beginning of round 2. if you're an analytics person, I know I am, this is for you. Home teams, which is decided by coin flip an hour before game time, home teams are a combined 3 for 5, or 3 and 5 in this tournament thus far, and are being outscored 64 to 41. That 41 that the home team is scoring includes Santa Barbara's 14 last night.
Wow.
What do you think it is that the home team is scoring so little runs? Is it just random draw, or does it have something to do with it?
It's definitely for sure random draw. I think they're just the better teams most of the time has gotten tails, and they're just taking advantage of it.
Yeah, if you look at some of the teams who have been those home teams, or away teams, it's been Lone Star, it's been Seattle, it's been Hayes who put up 18. Many of the teams that have had amazing offenses so far have been stuck with the away draw, I guess.
Right.
A couple of people to look at in these upcoming games. Peyton Tolley of the Wichita Sluggers is tied for first in 6 RBIs. That is tied for first in the 2021 NBC World Series thus far. He'll be playing a little bit later. A couple of guys to maybe look out for on this Great Bend team that I think you and I kind of said going into round 1 were worth looking at are guys like an Austin Greedy, who played pretty well throughout the Sunflower Collegiate League season.
Right, and Greedy's really good, and that Great Bend Batcats team needs to rally around their top players today to stay in this tournament.
Nolan Riley is who they relied on in Game 1, went 2 for 4, and had a pair of RBIs. It's a Great Bend team that has a chip on their shoulder. They didn't want to lose in round 1. They got an awful draw having to play Lone Star first, because that's a very good Lone Star team. I don't expect that we've seen the end of the Great Bend Batcats in this tournament, and I'm pretty excited to see where that leads us in the upcoming rounds.
Me too as well. I'm super excited to watch this game, and I think Great Bend's going to pull this one out.
So we'll take a look at the brackets one last time. Great Bend will face off against 316 Elite here in the next 10 to 12 minutes, and they will play the loser of Game 13, which is Santa Barbara and 316 Sluggers. We have the potential for we will, I guess, have a Wichita/Kansas matchup, whether it be the 316 Elite taking on the 316 Sluggers, or it could be the Great Bend Batcats getting to take on either one of them. Of course, Santa Barbara could also be the one that drops down, but that Santa Barbara team looked phenomenal last night. It's going to take a very special outing to beat Bill Pintard's team going into that. So I'd be a fool if I didn't ask you what your key to the game is for either Great Bend or 316 Elite to find a way to win this afternoon.
316 just needs to play better defense. I know they played a very tough team in the beginning, but the defense on the field just wasn't looking the best. So hopefully they can improve on that today. In Great Bend, just play your style and play good baseball today.
Yeah, it was Will Johnson, Harper Kennedy, and Jory Faber for the 316 Elites who took the mound. And all three of them did struggle quite a bit, but it was Will Johnson who struggled the most, allowing 14 runs. It's only 9 of them were earned, though. A couple came off errors. It's a 316 Elite team that is significantly younger than the rest of the field. I had a chance to talk with some of them, and one of them said, yeah, about 3/4 of us just finished our senior year. The rest of them are going into their senior year of high school.
Right.
This is a very young squad, and a lot of these guys are not in their final NBC World Series.
No, not 100% not for sure. And it's good to see these guys coming here. They're seeing, I remember I had a player on my team who was going into, just graduated high school, was playing for a summer baseball team collegiately. And he was getting frustrated because he was getting struck out so much. I said, you don't understand. These players that are playing collegiate level baseball, you're just going into it. So getting this experience during the summer and here at the NBC World Series is giving you a better look for the future, so you know what type of level you need to be at to play at this level.
And if you're going into your senior year of high school playing in a tournament like this is an unreal opportunity to impress some scouts out there as well.
Exactly, I agree 100%. And it's a great opportunity, and that's why they're here. They love it.
So we will not be joining you before the 6 p.m. game as usual, so we will take just a moment to talk about that one. It's going to be between the Cheney Diamond Dogs and the Derby Twins. Both teams had exciting games 2 days ago. Of course, Derby walking off their game, Cheney having a pretty strong outing in theirs. What do you expect out of the Cheney Derby game?
A grind. That's what it's going to be. Cheney versus Derby, a grind here. I think it's going to be amazing to watch both these teams. Both Sunflower Collegiate League teams, so they've known each other. They've played each other this summer. Derby recently has got this fire under them right now, and they've done a really good job. They did in the Midwest tournament here at Hobart Dinner just last week. They're continuing to play their best baseball right now, so it'll be interesting to see what Cheney does.
And it happened in 2019 as well, where Derby was one of the 2 teams that made it out of week 1 into championship week. a team nobody expected. They were
Right.
near the bottom of their group and came out of nowhere. Derby's a team you got to worry about, and this is a Cheney team that is significantly lower when it comes to the experience they have in college ball. Last year and the year before, we saw a Cheney team that was near the top of the country, and this is just a younger team, so I think we're set up for a very entertaining feature game between the Cheney Diamond Dogs and Derby Twins. You can catch that one also here on our NBC World Series YouTube page. It'll be about 30 minutes following the conclusion of our upcoming game. That upcoming game is the Great Bend Batcats and 316 Elite. These two teams from the area have a lot to prove. An elimination game coming at you here on the NBC World Series YouTube page. We are live at Hobart, Detterfield, and Hutchinson, Kansas at the 87th NBC World Series, powered by Evergy.